My name is Marta Mirazanda, and I work in human evolution, in particular late human evolution. For me, one of the most fascinating questions in this fascinating subject remains the origins of modern humans, but especially the origins of modern human diversity. So now, we're pretty sure modern humans evolved in Africa, although the more we learn about their interaction with other hominins, the more complex that story is. But still, they seem to have evolved in Africa, particularly East Africa, where we find the earliest modern human fossils. We have fantastic key specimens dating to around 200,000 and 160,000 years ago here in East Africa, as I said, in Ethiopia in particular. The projects that we have in Lake Turkana suggest that we have there as well represented early modern human populations. But then we know so little about what happens next. We have virtually no fossils, although a lot of archaeology reported data of humans in Africa before and after they leave to colonize the rest of the world. And as long as we don't understand, we don't know what happened in Africa then, we will never understand what was it, what were the selective pressures that led to modern humans, what were the selective pressures that led to their diversity. Was it because during an interglacial they had wonderful resources and they were expanding, and then eventually it ended up being several populations that competed with other hominins for space? Or was it that it was the conditions during the harshest glacials that led them to maximum pressure in order to survive at that time? The evidence at the moment is so complex and difficult to understand. And we have genetics that suggest that we come from a very small population that would indicate that actually it was responding to those harsher circumstances that led to the origins of modern humans. And yet, what we understand about the dispersals of humans point to growing populations and much success, especially success in competing with other hominins too, which would indicate a very different process altogether. So when I say that we do not have enough fossils, is that we don't have enough to reproduce and reconstruct the richness of that history. However, what we have is sufficient for us to say some very important things, like all modern humans evolved in Africa, and all our ancestors lived only in Africa for most of their history. In the background of all this, of course, is geography and climate, and how humans and hominins before them responded to all that. And one of the major responses was dispersals, and others was very localized adaptations. And those adaptations drive selective or neutral phenotypic change. And that change is what makes us all different from one from the other. And it shapes the wonderful variety and diversity that makes modern humans unique.